Towanda's making their way to the field.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the Blue Ridge Cable Television's broadcast of NTL football. Tonight from Wellsboro, Pennsylvania, the Wellsboro Hornets take on the visitors, the Black Knights of Towanda. Towanda just coming onto the field at this time. This is Chris Vaughn along with Kevin Green, and we're happy that you're with us tonight, and we're certainly happy to be with you. It was 3 weeks ago to the night when we had our last Blue Ridge game. And then Wellsboro took a pause after that, not due to their own issues, but issues developing with Canton and Troy, the teams that they were supposed to play the past 2 weeks. For the Towanda Black Knights, they come in with a record of 0-3. And Kevin, my first question to you, my friend, Wellsboro hasn't played in 20 days. Towanda hasn't played in 3 days because they actually played Monday night against Athens. They lost that game 42-14, but what would you prefer, Kevin, coming into a game with a 20-day gap or coming into a game with a 3-day gap?
I'm going to put the advantage to the Wellsboro Hornets, Chris. I think that gave Coach Hildebrand a lot of time to get back to the fundamentals, work on the basics of the game. And also, Wellsboro knew a week ago who their opponent was going to be today, whereas Athens got delayed a couple of days before, or Towanda got delayed a couple of days before they played Athens and didn't play that game until Monday night. So I'm going to give the advantage to the Wellsboro Hornets in time to prepare for the opponent and work on some basics.
Wellsboro coming in with a record of 1-1. They had their first game victory against Cowanesque Valley. Game 2 was the exciting game we brought you several weeks ago when North Penn Mansfield defeated Wellsboro 17-14. Towanda's 0-3, but they've had a tough schedule. They've already lost. They've already played Wildloosing, who's 3-1. They played an undefeated Athens team, and then in addition to that, they lost to a very good Troy team. So they certainly have had a challenging schedule as far as their 0-3 record is concerned. The Hornets are getting ready to take the field. We'll listen to the band usher the Hornets onto the field. Wellsboro in their home green jerseys with white pants. Towanda will be wearing the black helmets, the white jerseys, and the black pants. And here are the Hornets.
Have they? Yeah. Here come the Hornets. That's good. Thank you for the heads up.
And in addition to our great fans joining us on the Blue Ridge Network, we want to give a shout out to everyone who's joining us through the streaming service and joining us through the Wellsboro Nation. And at this time, we'll take a pause for our national anthem, and I believe the Wellsboro Hornet alma mater. All right, the Wellsboro alma mater and the national anthem, and we're ready. This is one of only 2 games in the NTL tonight. North Penn Mansfield's up at Cowanesque Valley, but the teams in Bradford County still shaking the virus, getting over their quarantine periods. Canton, who has played 1 football game this year, Kevin, I think they're back in action Monday with Athens, if I'm not mistaken, and that'll be game number 2.
Yeah, light schedule this week again, Chris. Bradford County seems to be the unfortunate recipient of the COVID virus and the implications of that. And yeah, light schedule, but nonetheless, here we are. We're glad to be back here and hosting the Hornet football game against the Black Knights.
And it looks like that Wellsboro won the toss. They deferred till the second half, and they will kick off. And it looks like doing the honors will be Jack Poirier, the sophomore kicker. As Towanda then will await the return and will be ready for game number 3 on the Wellsboro football schedule this season, game number 4 for the Black Knights. We're underway on the Wellsboro Nation and the Blue Ridge Cable Television Network. Opening kick, good return there, crossing it out to about the 37, 30-yard line as looked like number 41, Quentin Woodburn returned that. A good, healthy return out to the 38 when Callahan made the tackle.
Yeah, good start for the Black Knights, Chris. As you mentioned, their early offensive struggles here early in the season, and any spark for them is a good thing at this point. But Wellsboro played some great defense the last time we were here, Chris, against North Penn Mansfield. So we'll see if they can rise to the occasion again tonight.
Craig Dawsey, the head coach of Towanda, said he's got a very young team, and each game is a bit of a learning experience. They have struggled scoring, but they do complete the first patch of the game. It goes to Trent Cathcart from the quarterback Schoonover.
Gain of about 3, make it 2nd and 7.
Pickup of 3 yards on the opening pass for Towanda.
Yeah, Chris, we're not sure if they found any success. They scored 2 touchdowns, their first 2 touchdowns of the season against Athens. So maybe they found a little magic in those few drives that they're going to try here tonight.
Well, anything to build up the confidence of the younger ball players. There's a handoff coming through in motion, and taking the handoff is Ryan West. West on the carry. About back to the line of scrimmage, little or no gain on that play.
On the tackle. Number 6, Ryan West on the carry.
3rd down, and we'll say about 5 yards. On the 43, needing to get it out to the 48. Mitchell Mosier, the quarterback, in the shotgun. Mosier keeps it, and he is brought down at the line of scrimmage. And they'll bring up a 4th down punting situation. Look like Campbell on the tackle for Wellsboro. Hayes Campbell, the freshman defensive lineman. And Wellsboro forces a quick 3 and out.
Back deep for the Hornets, Connor Adams and Will
Yeah, looks like Adams and Connor Burrell are deep, Chris, here for the Hornets.
Wyatt Delamater will kick, another one of the young players on Towanda. He's only a sophomore.
That's
Connor Adams showing no fear in racing up to get that sinking line drive kick. That could have been a disaster, and Connor Adams turns it into a big play, and Wellsboro will start their first series of the game right on the Towanda side of the field.
Yeah, Adams recognized the contain on that side, Chris, had come in too far, and he was able to scoop that up, as you said, and avoid any disaster, but he got about 35 yards on that return to set up Wellsboro in great field position for their first drive.
Really an outstanding play by Adams. First pass of the game. Looks like that was broken up by Trent Cathcart, one of the rare seniors on the Towanda roster. Second and 10.
Yeah, 81 there, Chris made a good defensive play for Towanda. Cathcart.
Adams in motion, the ball on the ground. Keene picks it up, and he makes lemonade out of lemons on that one. It looked like it could be a significant loss, but quickly gaining yards for about 7 yards on that one there. Good thinking.
Yeah, Keene able to scoop that up, Chris. And if you recall that game we did with North Penn Mansfield, the ball was on the ground a few times in that game. So that's a little bit of a concern for the Hornets, but Keene did a great job of picking that up and turning it into a positive play.
3rd and 3 for Matt Hildebrand's Hornets. And it looks like number 60 for Towanda, anxious for the play to begin, and he jumped off sides.
Yep, that's the automatic first down for the Wellsboro Hornets.
And those are the little things, I guess, when you're a winless team you just can't afford. You got to make them earn everything they're getting, and giving them the first down by penalty certainly not making Coach Dawsey probably too happy on the Towanda sideline.
We'll see if Wellsboro takes a shot here, Chris. Maybe they'll take one up top here and see if they can find Singer. He might have a matchup that favors him.
Adams wrapped up out of bounds on the 35, and a flag on the play. Ethan Sparrow makes the tackle. and an all too familiar sight from the game 3 weeks ago when there was a lot of laundry on the field, a lot of plays. And here we do have our first penalty of tonight's game.
Yeah, and earlier, Chris, we talked about going back to the basics and the fundamentals, and I'm sure Coach Hildebrand has really harped on the Hornet squad the last couple of weeks about the penalties that caused them some issues in that North Penn Mansfield game.
Penalty will be against the Hornets.
And Matt did say it was somewhat challenging to get the team ready in some regards because you're just not used to having 2 weeks straight off during the football season, especially after you've only played 2 games.
Well, one advantage, Chris, though, certainly is if you've got any nicks and bruises, you do get the opportunity to heal up a little bit.
Yes, that is true, and so Wellsboro should be coming into this game very, very healthy tonight. There's another low snap, and Callahan, that play read perfectly, and there's a big loss on the play as the Black Knights were ready for that play. And once again, that was Trent Kithcart who really was able to diagnose what was going to happen on that play quickly.
Yeah, 2 big plays early on here by 81 Kithcart, Chris. But again, give credit to Isaac Keene on a low snap, able to avoid any real damage there, even though there was a loss on the play. But it looks like Towanda's bringing the house early, Chris, bringing a lot of people on every play. And let's see if Wellsboro can find something in the middle of the field that might be wide open.
Yeah, it's back to 2nd and 25 now for Keene. Another low snap. Keene's able to pick it up, throws it downfield, and he's going to overthrow the intended receiver, Adams. And Adams was covered good on the play. A good coverage there by the Black Knights.
Yep, and now, Chris, it's a third and 25 here, I believe. And now you're on your own side of the field where you had a very promising start to the drive. The penalty, again, as you talked about, and the low snap. But one thing we found out about this Wellsboro Hornet team, Chris, they're a big play team.
Yes.
So this could be 2-down territory, or they may be able to pick this up on this play here.
Well, we'll have to see how many yards they get for Coach Hildebrand to decide whether he wants to go for it on 4th down or not. Keene rolling out, still rolling, and his pass falls harmlessly incomplete. And I'm guessing on 4th and 25 on their own side of the field, we will see the punting team come on, and it appears that that will be the case. So if you're Towanda, you just look for little successes to try to boost your enthusiasm and your confidence level, and they do find that with the stopping of Wellsboro on their first time with the football. Ryan Sweet, the junior, who had a couple good punts last week as the Wellsboro seemed to alternate their punters last week.
Yeah, Ryan Sweet, he had a couple of nice punts that pinned North Penn Mansfield inside the 10-yard line.
Doing the punting for the Hornets.
And does a nice job there, Chris.
Haven Benjamin.
Gets about 35 yards.
Yep.
On the return,
Haven Benjamin Fee makes the fair catch.
Towanda will take over at the 19-yard line.
And the Black Knights will have the ball on the 19-yard line. Towanda started out being shut out by Wyalusing with a 3-1 record. They then were defeated by a Troy team that had a chip on their shoulder after blowing a big lead against Canton the week before. That, I believe, was 42-0, and then the 44-14 loss to Athens this past Monday night when they played. Towanda's been hit a little bit with the coronavirus bug, so they actually had to take a pause there. Handoff on the play, and they pick up.
Hayes Campbell in on the tackle.
Campbell makes the
well
tackle.
Ryan Sweet, number 81, Trent
As
Cathcart
makes the carry there.
Well, he's certainly been active for the Black Knights, Chris, on both sides of the ball, and a nice 5-yard carry. But a name we called a lot the last time we did the broadcast, Chris, on the tackle, number 89, Ryan Sweet. And I think he had 10 or 11 tackles against the Tigers the last time we were here.
Yes, he had an excellent game that night. 2nd down. Looking to pass. Pass thrown high, and that was for Kithcart. As Kithcart, an integral part of the Towanda offense and defense.
Well, Joe Brown, number 11, tipped that, Chris, and fortunately for the Black Knights, it went straight up in the air, and no other player for the Hornets was around to pick it off. But another nice defensive play for Joe Brown.
Fake the handoff. Keeping the football is number 12, Mitchell Mosier.
Joe Brown on the tackle of number 12, Mitchell Mosier.
Mosier close to a first down. Very close to a first down, but he's going to be short by a yard. Would you dare go for it on your own 27-yard line? I do believe they are.
Well, I'd have to believe, Chris, this is to try to draw them off sides and get the first down trick here and see if hopefully the Hornets can keep their discipline and stay on their side of the ball.
Well, we'll see. No, they snap it. And they
didn't
run
get it,
close,
Chris.
And I don't know. It's going to be very close.
Joe Brown, number 11, snuffed that out, Chris.
Joe Brown on the stop.
I mean, they did get a favorable spot, though. But is it a good enough spot?
Officials timed.
Oh, I agree. They did get a favorable
They got
spot.
a very favorable spot on that.
Yeah, I would imagine Coach Hildebrand is not going to be happy with that spot. Look like they maybe give him a generous half a yard on that, Chris.
I'll tell you, Coach Dawsey saying, hey, we're 0-3. We've had trouble scoring. We've had trouble stopping other teams. It's 4th and short. We're just going to lay our cards out, and we're going for it. So they stretch the chains out, and it is going to be. It is a first down, so Towanda picks up the necessary yardage and chalk one up for Coach Dawsey.
Yeah, you got to give him credit for being a little aggressive on the road, Chris. But I guess if you're 0-3, you're having a hard time scoring, you got to take your chances, right?
Right, because you may not get that many favorable situations where it's 4th and 1 or 4th and 2. And you might be in more serious matters where it's 4th and 15, 4th and 20, and you can't have that as an option. Long pass downfield as they try to get it to Schoonover, and the pass almost intercepted, just dropped. Wetzel almost had the interception. Spencer Wetzel, the sophomore. The ball hits the ground.
Yeah, good coverage there by Wetzel, and number 1, Connor Adams, also in the area, Chris, and just unable to corral that one.
Kind of thrown up a bit for grabs there. Snap from center. There goes Kithcart, but Kithcart is going to be waylaid for a loss.
Trent Kithcart. Swarm of Hornets over there on that side.
As fine PA announcer Mr. Adams says, a swarm of Hornets. And one of that swarm was Ryan Sweet. Steve Adams does a great job, and he's done it for many, many years. He keeps the Wellsboro crowd enthused.
Yeah, so far this year, Chris, from what we've been able to see in this our second Wellsboro broadcast, is wherever Mr. Sweet is, it's pretty tough to run at him. And Joe Brown as well. Joe Brown seems to be in on almost every play.
There's a pass on 3rd down, and that incomplete and high, out of bounds. And now it is 4th down, and this time the punting team will be on. We won't try to fake a punt, I don't believe.
Well, one thing that the Hornets have done well this year, Chris, is Connor Adams and number 6. To clarify, number 6 is Will Kibler. They've done a great job returning punts this year when they've had an opportunity to get the ball.
Boy, they took a little time there. The punter kind of sidestepped and moved out a little bit before getting that kick away. Kibler on the return to the 46-yard line, and that's where the Hornet offense will take over, but a little bit of a dangerous maneuver there by the punter.
Yeah, number 2, Nick Smith, I don't think he envisioned the punter taking as much time as he did, and boy, he almost punted that for him. He was in there.
Yeah. That was a little bit of a dangerous play there. Tonight's broadcast is sponsored by First Citizens Community Bank, one of the top performing community banks in the nation. Visit myfccb.com to learn more. Member FDIC, and again, First Citizens Community Bank sponsoring tonight's Wellsboro Towanda football game. Here goes Adams in motion. They fake the handoff. Keene keeps it. Bounces off one tackle to the 40. And Isaac Keene tackled on inside the 35. Nice tackle there by Haven Benjamin Fee. If he would have got by Fee there, he could have been long gone.
Well-designed play, though, Chris, with the fake to Adams in motion, and this is a designed keeper all the way for Keene, and was able to bounce it outside. And if he just couldn't get by Fee there, he scores. I think he scores the first touchdown of the game.
But Fee makes the tackle, but still a 9-yard pickup, so 2nd and 1 for the Hornets on about the 37-yard line. Hand off to Callahan. Callahan hits an opening, and there goes Callahan across the 25 to the 24-yard line. Tackled on the play by Octavius Chacona. And Chacona makes the tackle on about the 23-yard line, so the Wellsboro offense now in gear, and they are moving forward with their deepest penetration of the game.
Yeah, I'm certainly getting Callahan involved, Chris. A wise call there by Coach Hildebrand.
Darren was a bit banged up after the North Penn Mansfield game. He had a pretty significant cramp in that game. There's a pass to the end zone, and it looks like it's been hauled in for a touchdown. Zach Singer uses his 6'3" height to haul that one in on a solid pass from Isaac Keene. So Keene to Singer on a 23-yard touchdown pass.
Yeah, just a well-executed play, and the Singer able to use his height advantage on number 2, Sparrow, who actually had good coverage, Chris, but Singer went up and got it, and Keene put it in the perfect spot for him to catch it, and Hornets with the first lead of the game. Do have a penalty flag down here, Chris.
I have to see what the call is. It looks like no indication yet, but it looks like they're going to be pushed back for a procedural violation, 5 yards. So with the healthy leg of kicker Poirier.
Well, the way Poirier kicks, Chris, those 5 yards won't mean anything.
Shouldn't present much of a challenge. Kick is straight and true. So Wellsboro goes out to the 7-0 lead. And now, Kevin, just got to believe this is going to be somewhat of a significant possession here now for Towanda. They've given up the first score now. They struggled on offense on their first 2 possessions, and they're used to giving up a lot of points. So probably a lot of bad vibes right now being sent over towards the Towanda sideline, and they need a good offensive possession to get some confidence back.
Yeah, I agree with you 100%, Chris. This is when you're a young football team with not a lot of playing experience where this could be the drive where you're quickly down 14 or you got a chance to move the ball down the field and keep yourself in the game for a little while longer. So we'll see what Coach Dawsey draws up. And we've seen him try to go for the home run early. We've seen him go for it on 4th down. But, a quick 3 and out here or a turnover, and this game could get out of hand early.
So we'll see how Poirier decides to play this as far as his kick is concerned. Kick is away. Good kick. Field on about the 10-yard line. Out to the 20. And airborne to the 22-yard line goes Fee.
Looked like that was number 2, Chris. Nick Smith on the tackle.
Nick hasn't gotten too many carries the last couple games, but making his presence felt here for Wellsboro on special teams.
Yeah, he certainly has done a great job early on special teams. But we expect throughout the game, Chris, we'll call his name. He's does a lot of different roles on the Wellsboro Hornet offense.
There's the snap. They go somewhat on an end-around play there, and it looked like that was Sparrow, Ethan Sparrow.
Cannon Keck on the tackle for the Hornets.
And Spencer Wetzel on the outside. Chris did a great job of keeping his contain, and Towanda unable to get to the outside, and the contain was able to make the tackle for just a minimal gain. So good job there by Wetzel.
And also Cannon Keck helping out on that tackle as well. Short yardage pickup. We'll call it 2nd and about 7.
Officials timeout. Looks like an equipment.
An officials timeout. Looks like the Towanda player will head to the bench to get an equipment repair.
Still second down.
Just a lovely night for a football game tonight. Temperature, a nice warm day. Temperature probably right now I'd have to say in the low 60s. And very, very little wind. It's going to be a windy and a little bit of a blustery day tomorrow. But as far as tonight is concerned, you really couldn't have better conditions.
Yeah, great night for football, Chris.
Handoff gains little to nothing on that play. And again, Wellsboro forcing a long third player. Kithcart on the carry. And the tackle there was made by Kanan Keck. Third and 7.
You go, Chris. This is a big third down for Towanda.
You don't want to give the ball right back to Wellsboro on a 3 and out. Even if you don't score, you at least get a few first downs, maybe so you can flip the field a little bit. Because Wellsboro should get a punt in great field position here.
Yeah, I assume they're going to look for Kithcart. He's been kind of their. Well, they may
have been some encroachment there.
Yeah,
on
that
Wellsboro.
looks like
they
that's.
were kind of trying to intimidate the offense there, that they were coming with an all-out blitz.
Well, and unfortunately, Chris, that's a free 5 for the Black Knights, and now it makes it a little bit more of a manageable 3rd and 2.
Or a 4th.
Or is this 2-down territory?
Well, it was before, and now you're down 7-0, so I would say it still is.
So a little bit of, again, you talked about the penalties early on, Chris, and a penalty here that may give Towanda a little bit of life. We'll see what happens here on this 3rd down play.
That's the 3rd penalty on the Hornets tonight. Pitch back. And close to the first down is Fee. He was rocked pretty hard there by Brown. Joe Brown with a punishing hit. But the chains look like they're going to be moved, and that's a Towanda 1st and 10. And we'll comment on this a little bit maybe at the end of the quarter. There are fans tonight on the Towanda side of the field, and we'll comment about the new restrictions that are in place as far as attendance at the NTL games and at stadiums with seating of 2,000 or less. And there's a completion as the quarterback, Mosier, finds Benjamin Fee. And Benjamin Fee gets the first down out to the 45-yard line. Hayden Benjamin Fee on Mosier's nice pass. And 2 first downs for Towanda.
Well, this is what you talked about, Chris, and it's been able to keep Towanda give them a little bit of life here at the end of the first quarter and keep them in this game. It'll only maybe a 7-0 deficit. But again, Mosier looks a little bit confident back there.
A nice run there, and breaking 1 tackle, breaking 2 tackles is Ryan West. Connor Adams makes the tackle, but not before West. Ryan West dashes into Wellsboro territory, and the Black Knights with their 3rd straight first down in the last 20 seconds of the first quarter. First down on the Hornet 43-yard line.
Yeah, we'll see, but perhaps that was the last play of the first quarter, Chris. But again, the 3rd and 7 with the defensive offsides penalty has really propelled this drive now for Towanda.
Yes, that penalty was a drive changer, so to speak. And after the first period of play tonight on the Blue Ridge Cable Television Network and the Wellsboro streaming service, it's 7-0 in favor of the Wellsboro Hornets. As we said, Kevin, just an announcement that was made, I believe, on Wednesday. The governor's office, Governor Wolf's office, enlarging the opportunity and enlarging the capacity at the different football venues, and I guess the different venues for all the sports, but in a stadium Towanda's or Wellsboro size, you can now have up to 25% occupancy on stadiums, and I don't know what the exact seating is, but I was told it's approximately in the 2,000 range in that. So in a situation like that, you can fill your seats to 25% capacity, which means up to 500 people could be at tonight's game, and that allowed Wellsboro to offer some tickets to the parents of the Towanda football players.
Yeah, and certainly you can look across the press box from where we're sitting and see people in the stands, unlike when Wellsboro played the North Bend Mansfield Tigers a few weeks ago. So, and certainly you can hear the crowd is obviously a little bit louder. for the home team tonight. So, well, it's good to see, and I think each school still has to adopt their own or adapt to that policy, but obviously for an outdoor venue like this, it seems like that will be the norm going forward.
Of course, the norm right now for Wellsboro means next week, and we'll talk about that in a little bit, the change in the schedule. We will be back with you next week for another Wellsboro Hornet football game here at Wellsboro. Dropping back, and Mosier is going to be blitzed and sacked for a big loss.
Number 67, Axel Madison, was in there. Chris, the snap was just a little bit high, but Madison, I think, went untouched for the sack.
Yes, they could have handed the ball off to Madison there. He had a full head of steam going the other direction. He could have walked in for a touchdown, but he was there quicker than a running back could have got the snap, and that's a loss of 9 yards. So now it's 2nd and 19 as Towanda's back on their own side of the field now, and they need to come up with another big play. As the first down now becomes more challenging. There goes Fee, and Fee tries to turn it inside, and maybe 2 yards on that play. It'll be 3rd and long, 3rd and about 17. Trying to see who's up at the, looks like Campbell got off the bottom of that pile there. Hayes Campbell, the freshman, who's made his presence felt in this first half of football. 3rd and 17, so even though Towanda went for it on 4th down back on inside their own 30-yard line, they only needed a couple yards that play. If they don't get much positive yardage here, I suspect we'll see a punt. And there's a pass that was tipped at the line as Wellsboro's defensive interior now getting a lot of pressure on the quarterback, and Towanda is not going to go for it on 4th and 17.
Yeah, certainly that. Those last 3 plays, Chris, the interior of the Wellsboro line, as you mentioned, clearly able to manhandle through the Towanda offensive line and cause a lot of havoc on Mosier. Luckily, we didn't get that last one picked off.
And there's the punter again. He moved it to the outside again, and his punt goes out of bounds, a short punt. I guess that's just his style. He kind of grabs the snap and then kind of glides over a couple steps and then punts the ball. That was Wyatt Delamater, and it's a short punt, all right, because Wellsboro is going to take over on about the 43, 44-yard line.
Yeah, if I were Coach Hildebrand, and this is just me, Chris, I would go right back to number 8, Zach Singer.
They found Singer for the 23-yard touchdown the last time they had the ball. We'll see if they do that. They send Adams in motion, and he dekes away from 1, and he dekes almost. Well, he dekes away from 2. Now he cuts it back up to get to midfield, as Adams could have been tackled twice, but he would not go down. And Clay Watkins and John Schoonover make the tackle, but not before Connor Adams turns something from nothing.
Yeah, it looked like he was going to gain maybe 1 or 2 as he had to keep bouncing it outside, and Towanda had him wrestled near the sideline, but he was able to escape and, as you said, pick up 7.
Right on the 50-yard line for the second snap of this drive. And there goes Callahan. Big hole there. Callahan crosses the 40, 35, 30.
That's Nick Smith.
Oh, excuse me, that was Nick Smith. There was only 1-2. I thought it was 22. I thought we had 2 twos there, but it's a 1-2, and that is Nick Smith, and that's his big run so far. And Nick gets it inside the 30-yard line now, 1st and 10 on the 28.
Yeah, Nick had a big game 1 against Cowanesque Valley, Chris, as well as Callahan. And Coach Hildebrand says he's got to roll. They'll get him some touches. He'll catch the ball. And obviously, so far as we've seen tonight, he does a great job on special teams.
And now it looks like there's another walk-off on Towanda, so their problems have multiplied. Looks like a 15-yard personal foul. And now they got the ball inside the 20-yard line, just like that. So tackle on another 15 from Nick Smith's play. That's Towanda's first penalty of the game. Now there goes Callahan. And Callahan will scoot into the end zone. This time we did get that extra 2 on the jersey. And Towanda now down 13-0, and you just can sense things starting to slip away rapidly for the Black Knights right now.
Yeah, and clearly, Chris, if the Hornets' defensive line can manhandle the Towanda offensive line like they did the last possession, this game could be in jeopardy of turning ugly real quick here in this second quarter.
And there's a bad snap. Poirier picks it up on his own 25. He's in no man's land now. He's still running it. He's looking to throw the ball. He does throw it into the end zone, and the pass is batted away and out of the end zone. But a nice pass by Poirier on the run there. And he's used to kicking the ball, but he threw a nice pass into the end zone.
Well, maybe Coach Hildebrand just, by chance, has got a new secret weapon he can unleash in the future, Chris.
One thing that's interesting, Kevin, especially for the fans on our the streaming service who might be watching out of the area, our two main stations that we have here in the northern tier for sports and broadcasting are Channel 36 and 18 out of New York. And with all the New York schools not playing right now, to do their Friday night football blitz, they're pretty much limited to the games that are being played in the NTL. And tonight there's only 2 games, but it looks like Griffin Haas and Chuck Brame have been here for almost the whole game, snapping highlights so far. So the NTL getting tremendous coverage, and not just on football. Last night, tough loss, but they had great coverage for Wellsboro last night. The Wellsboro-Athens girls soccer game that Athens won 2-1, but ton of coverage there. So with the NTL playing while New York, some of their non-contact sports, as they call them, now starting to get coverage, and they just started their season. So the NTL getting coverage like no time before. Here's the kick taken by Towanda. They have a seam to run and a good return, but the ball comes loose. And it is fumbled back, but it doesn't appear that Towanda lost the ball. It looks like they were able to fall on it. Zach Parker saves the day for Towanda. That really would have been the backbreaker. They had a good return there, and then the ball gets knocked away, and Wellsboro potentially could have taken over on the 32-yard line, but Parker does come up with the ball, giving Towanda's offense a chance to get on track.
Yeah, look for him to, I would say, key on Kithcart again, Chris. He's been kind of their go-to guy. They need somebody to step up on this drive.
And a handoff across the 35 to the 36. It looks like Ryan West. Campbell again with Keck on the Keck and Campbell on the tackle. He's going to get a good about 4 yards. 2nd and 6 on the 36.
Yeah, Tawanda's going to go empty backfield here, Chris. They've got 5 receivers split out.
We'll see what the quarterback can orchestrate here. There's a dump off to 83. Justin Schoonover. He catches Mosier's pass. Short pickup. Brown makes the tackle. 3rd and about 2 yards. So I'm going to guess if they don't make it, they will go for it on 4th down from this point on the field.
That was a good tackle by number 11, Joe Brown, Chris. It looked like Towanda was, if he could have just got it 1 step forward, was going to get the 1st down, and Brown was able to push him back and keep it to at least a 3rd and long 1 here for Towanda.
There's the snap. Hand off to Kithcart. Kithcart has the 1st down, and he gets out to about the 50-yard line. So the chains will be moved, and Towanda will be able to at least maybe get their 2nd possession into Wellsboro territory. They're right on the 50 now.
1st and 10, Black Knights.
As the Black Knights try to respond to the Towanda scores. Mosier, again an empty backfield. Oh, I'm sorry, there was somebody right next to him on the other side. But they do complete the pass into the flat. And that is Haven Fee. Haven Benjamin Fee.
That's another
And
Towanda first
Fee
down.
gets the first down on the 40-yard line. So Towanda with their deepest penetration so far, first down on the 40.
A couple well-executed plays there. Chris Mosier, when he does have time, can deliver a nice pass. And we'll see if Towanda is able to keep the chains moving.
And there's a handoff, and it looked like West on this
Number 6
handoff.
again on the carry. That's Ryan West.
Pick up of about 3 yards on the play. Looked like a tackle made by Joe Brown,
Joe
the
Brown in on the
all-everything
tackle for
sophomore.
the Hornets.
2nd and 7.
Gain of about
And
3,
Towanda
make it
really,
2nd
you know,
and 7
taking
for
time off the
Towanda.
clock, which keeping the ball to Wellsboro's hands, not a bad strategy either. Snap it as deep into the play clock as you can.
Well, it certainly keeps, the score a little bit more respectable on the scoreboard.
Yeah.
Razzle-dazzle, Chris, that Ryan Sweet said.
Sweet on the tackle.
Not happening over here.
Yeah, this time Ryan Sweet pays the fee for tackling Benjamin Fee. And a loss on the play. They're back to the 48 as Ryan Sweet just busted right through there. And Haven Fee had no chance to get any positive real estate on that play.
And he took the handoff, Chris. The first thing he saw was number 89 just waiting for him.
So we'll see what they can dial up on 3rd and 13 to maybe at least get a manageable 4th down. I don't believe 3rd and 4th and 13 would be that manageable. Back to pass. Throwing deep downfield. And that pass is broken up.
Pass is
Will
incomplete.
Kibler.
Will
Will
Kibler, on the
Kibler
defense
looking,
for the
they were
Hornets.
looking for Johnson on the receiving end of that. And now with it being 4th and 13,
Gonna be 4th
probably
down,
unrealistic
ball
to go
13.
for it, needing 13 yards.
Kibler and
So
Adams back to receive.
the punt will be made again by Ethan Sparrow.
Well, and Chris, both times he's punted the ball, it's taken a long time to get it off. And
Yeah, just
see if
sliding over
Wellsboro might be
there.
able to get in here and block one of these.
And this time they do. They don't block it. He never got the ball off.
Quarterbacks.
I'm sorry, not the Delamater. Wyatt Delamater. This time Wellsboro realized he was going to take a step or two to the right, and they were there waiting. He had to go to the left, and they were waiting there too. So Wellsboro doesn't necessarily block the kick, but they tackle the punter before he can even get the kick off.
Yep. And again, number 89, Ryan Sweet, Chris.
Ryan could be one of our stars of the game tonight for sure. And Joe Brown.
Yeah.
Really, Campbell's played well. Kanan Keck has played well. So Keen's looking deep, looking for Singer again, and he just overthrows.
Pass attempted.
Yep.
to
Singer
Zach
had a
Singer.
step on number 2, Sparrow, Chris, and just a hair out of his reach.
Yeah, he had a step and about probably 6 to 7 inches on him too.
But a great time to do that right after a special teams miscue by Towanda. A good time to go for the home run. I like the call, and just a little bit out of his reach there.
2nd and 10, we'll see if Wellsboro goes back to the ground. We see Nick Smith with an explosive play, Callahan with an explosive run, or if they'll keep it airborne. Keeping it is Keene. Keene crosses to the 45, a host of tacklers there. Good defensive play by Towanda as Alex Perez in on the tackle. And it's going to be 3rd down and
Gain
about
a couple,
7.
make it 3rd and 8 for Wellsboro.
And Chris, I'd have to believe, depending on this play, even if it's somewhat of a positive, 4-down territory here for the Hornets.
Oh, yes, I would agree, too. Maybe even 4-down territory if they don't get any yardage. We'll have to see about that, but, we'll see what the 3rd down play develops with. There goes Keene rolling out. Keene throws his pass a little bit too high. He actually had a couple of people in the same vicinity. That was for Nick Smith. Connor Adams was there as well. And we'll see what Wellsboro does.
Yeah, it was a well-executed play. Just again, Keene just a little bit overthrows Smith.
I think I'm right, Kevin. I think they are going for it. So 4th down from the Towanda 45, I guess. Wellsboro not feeling too threatened by the Towanda offense that even if they don't get the first down, then they surrender the ball on their 45-yard line, that Coach Hildebrand thinking the defense can rise to the occasion. Keene rolling out, throwing another one. That pass is caught. Connor Adams juggled it as he went up in the air, as he tipped it to himself and made a spectacular diving catch.
Highlight reel catch right there, Chris. Initially looked like, again, it was going to be an overthrow, but Connor Adams somehow able to juggle that and corral it, and, wow, might be the catch of the day so far.
Hopefully our crew from 18 and 36 are still here taking the highlights, and hopefully that's one they'll put in their highlight package on their TV blitzes tonight on the 11 o'clock news. And there goes Callahan.
22, Darren Callahan on the carry.
Because most seasons probably, Kevin, with all the games that be going on in the New York area, they just have a stringer here who would electronically send up 3 or 4 plays, and that would be maybe the bulk of the highlights. But when you're one of 2 games in town tonight, North Penn Mansfield at Cowanesque Valley, the only games in the NTL being played, the Bradford County Skulls still on pause, looking like Troy and Canton will be back in action early next week. Canton with a game Monday night against Athens, as they'll be back out of their quarantine protocols. Keene back, throwing it to the end zone, and the pass broken up. Nice play there.
Pass is incomplete. Tempted to number 6, Will Kibler.
Kibler was the intended receiver, but the Black Knights stay right with Kibler, and they were able to thwart that play, and it's 3rd down and long.
Yeah, good job by number 2, Ethan Sparrow, Chris. He's been picked on a couple times tonight, but able to stay step for step with Will Kibler and knock that pass away. And bring up a 3rd and 10 here at the Hornets' 31-yard line.
3:31 to play in the first half. 13-0 the Hornets. There's a keeper by Keene. Keene crosses the 30, crosses the 25, 20, 15, 10. He breaks the containment, and he's gone for the touchdown.
Touchdown, Wellsboro.
32-yard touchdown run.
Yeah, Keene was able to get by the outside, Chris, and it was all she wrote down the sideline for 6. And we see that a lot out of Wellsboro, a lot of designed runs for Keene for that purpose, Chris. He does a good job of following his blocks and getting some big runs.
We'll see what happens with the kick this time by Poirier, and the kick is
Point after
straight
attempt
and
by Jack
true.
Poirier is good.
And it's now 20-0.
Remain in the second quarter. Wellsboro 20.
But he just broke the containment and scored the 3rd touchdown of the game. Limited travel, limited socialization, and limited access to toilet paper. That came out of nowhere. But First Citizens Community Bank customers never lost access to their financial information or their money when they used the bank's free NetTeller online banking tool. NetTeller is convenient and provides instant access to your finances from your smartphone, laptop, and tablet. That's First Citizens Community Bank, member FDIC. So the lead's expanded to 20, and you got a feeling if Towanda can't respond with at least one score, it could be a rough second half.
Yeah, I think we're heading down that way, Chris, and I think on Keene's touchdown, he's got to go over and give a big thank you to Connor Adams for the assist on the play before. Or 2 plays before. It was a heck of a grab by Connor to keep the drive alive on a 4th down. So, but yeah, you're right, Chris. When you're 0-3 and you're on the road against a good program like Wellsboro, Towanda's got to have a score this drive, or this game is going to be out of hand.
And they're going to get out to about the 25-yard line, as we'll take Steve Adams' phrase, a swarm of Hornets buzz in on the kicker, or on the returner. And it looks like Towanda will have it on their own 24-yard line. At half, we'll take a pause while the Wellsboro Hornet Band plays for the Wellsboro Nation on our streaming service and on the Blue Ridge Cable Network.
Well, empty backfield again for Towanda, Chris.
And Mosier keeps the ball, not quite with the success that Keen's had, as he picks up maybe, well, we'll give him 1 yard, 2nd and 9 on that play.
That was number 55, Chris.
Gain of 1, make it 2nd and 9.
On the tackle.
Well, Manitou. .240 and counting. Towanda not in any hurry to run the offense here. And there's another fake on the handoff, and again, maybe a yard if we're charitable. Probably no gain will be the reality of that play. So 2 keepers there. I'm wondering if Wellsboro might just stop the clock to get a little more time.
Well, they've got all 3 timeouts left, Chris, so they can do that.
But it doesn't appear that they are.
Appears based on the first 2 plays, maybe Coach Hildebrandt's thinking they're just going to run up the middle and take their chances with a punt. We unfortunately saw how that went for them the last time.
Yes.
So maybe
Wellsboro has really gotten to figure out how the kicker Delameter is handling those punts and kind of sliding off to the side. There's a long pass downfield. Closest player was Adams. He tried to get it to Haven Benjamin Fee, but Adams was the closest player to that ball. And again, a punting situation for Delameter. 1:45 left to play, as it's really turning up everything Hornets right here in the second quarter.
And Kibble and Adams are back at their own 45-yard line, Chris. And if they do return it, Wellsboro will have all 3 timeouts.
And Adams misses this one, and the ball is loose as they knocked Adams off the ball. No signal from the official. Now there is, and it looked like possibly.
Ball was loose. Hornets do recover.
Looked like Will Kibler was able to fall on that ball then.
Well, Connors had a couple really good plays, being able to pick up the ball, Chris. That time didn't go his way, but fortunately for the Hornets, they were able to pounce on the loose ball and keep possession.
That's what your teammates for.
So again, plenty of time here for the Hornets, Chris.
Sure.
All 3 timeouts.
Keen back to pass. High pass there, incomplete.
Pass is incomplete.
2nd down and 10.
Attempted to Ryan Sweet, 89.
Tried to get to Big Ryan Sweet on that play, but unsuccessful. 2nd down play. 1:32 to go.
Yeah, and Sweet, Singer, Chris, tall guys for the Hornets, and most games will have a height advantage, and Keene was trying to connect on that and use that to their advantage that time, but unable to make the completion.
And a little movement there on the part of the Hornets prior to the snap. Looks like this will take them back 5 yards. 2nd and 15. And again, we'll have the Wellsboro Hornet Marching Band performing for everyone at halftime.
But, Chris, I think if you're Coach Hildebrand, you've got to be pleased. We talked earlier about the number of penalties that occurred against the North Penn Mansfield Tigers in the last game, and I believe that might be only their 3rd penalty here in the first half.
Actually, 4th. Only
fourth,
4th.
Okay.
4th penalty. Which still is a lot lighter than 3 weeks ago. Just seems weird to say 3 weeks ago for the last game. There's a long deep pass. He's got Adams open and just out of the reach of Adams.
Pass is incomplete. Attempted Adams.
Adams had a step on the defender, and that could have been a 6-point play.
Yeah, I'm not sure, Chris, if the defender number 5, Delameter, got a hand on that or not. But Adams did have a step. And we'll see if they go back again. Looks either back to Adams or Singer, or maybe even Sweet. Well, Callahan does a good job catching the ball out of the backfield too. I don't think he's caught any tonight, but he's done a good job getting open.
Yes, he had a couple nice catches in the North Penn game. Looks like a blitz coming, and
looked like some movement on the offensive line.
Well, 3rd and 15 became 3rd and 20.
Well, we just jinxed him, I guess, Chris.
Ball start against the Hornets. Going to back us up 5 more.
5th penalty chalked up against Wellsboro tonight. Keene's going to keep it, and this play will not work at all. And so they'll have to punt. We'll see if Towanda might stop the clock to try to get a little time before the half's over. No, they're letting the clock run too.
I don't think so, Chris.
Yeah, boy, I thought they might because they're going to get the ball probably in better field position than they've had it for most of their possessions.
And Wellsboro will have three timeouts, depending upon what Towanda does after receiving the punt.
Down to 53 seconds. You can't use these timeouts in the second half. I'm really surprised Towanda didn't try to stop the clock there, but they don't, and there's a nice punt. Bounces on the 35, bounces to the 30, and now with that deep bounce, it's probably going to mean that Towanda will just run the final play or two out of the half. And
nice punt by Jack Poyer.
Poyer with an excellent punt. He's in an excellent kicking game. He certainly was not at fault on the missed conversion, and actually he almost turned it into a 2-point conversion with a great pass into the end zone, not panicking when he had to retrieve the ball there, and got a nice pass into the end zone trying to get the 2-point conversion after the kick went awry.
Timeout, Towanda.
Oh,
Now they call the timeout after the clock had stopped. So timeout now taken by the Black Knights. Down to 33 seconds. That would indicate to some degree, I guess, they might try to
maybe they got a trick
do
play,
something.
Chris. Maybe they've got something drawn up here.
Well, I believe the fumble Ruski has been outlawed. So that was the last good trick play.
Well, and certainly if you're Towanda, you don't want to get cute and turn one over here deep in your own territory. And with Wellsboro having all of their timeouts remaining, could get one play and could get a touchdown. So it's still plenty of time in terms of Wellsboro. But we'll see what the timeout did. I didn't even see the Black Knights really huddle a whole lot after the timeout.
No, they were right back on the field a lot quicker than the Wellsboro defense. So if they do have some play up their sleeve, we'll see.
They're good poker players.
Yeah, if they are, they're very good poker players.
Not sure. They didn't huddle. They didn't really do anything other than use a timeout.
And there's a handoff right up the middle to West. And
Coach Hildebrand's going to call the timeout. And only 4 seconds came off the clock, Chris. So you've got them pinned deep. And if you can get them to punt, you've already seen that you can block the punt. And Coach Hildebrand's giving them an opportunity maybe here to – and certainly if you're Coach Hildebrand, you hope maybe Towanda will throw the ball, get it incomplete, and you can save a timeout.
We referenced that we'll be back with you next week. There is a change on the schedule. Wellsboro is going to be at home next Friday night, and it should be a good one, against the Troy Trojans. Troy was upset the first week of the season against Canton, but then came up with a quality win against North Penn Mansfield. Then they went on, unfortunately, a COVID pause. But they're a team that went deep into the District 4 playoffs a year ago, and they've got a great running tandem there that'll be on display next week. So we should have an excellent game for you. Troy was originally supposed to play Northwest High School, but that being a non-league game, I guess they need to get their league games in. So it'll be Troy-Wellsboro next Friday night, and that'll be our third and final home game on the Blue Ridge Network and on the Wellsboro streaming service. Short pass there complete, and now Wellsboro takes another timeout with 22.6 seconds to play.
It'll be 3rd and 7, Chris, when they come out of the timeout.
And they still have one timeout remaining. Now that's the one timeout they wish they had it in the fourth quarter last game 3 weeks ago against North Penn Mansfield when they were unable to get out of bounds late in the game on a run by Keene, and they could not get a field goal try off to possibly tie that football game up and give us an overtime period. North Penn Mansfield taking the Jones Trophy back to Mansfield and to Liberty. Only the second time, I believe, in the last 10 years that had happened.
You are correct.
Quick shout out, a couple shout outs here. Our good friend Wellsboro Ray down in Allentown. I know he's got the game down and on the service tonight, and there's an incomplete pass. That'll bring up a 4th down, so Towanda will have to punt the last 19 seconds. Wellsboro, Todd, you've got to be pretty happy right now with your Hornets leading 20-0. And Greg, I know you're wearing your Wellsboro green tonight, as I am, my Wellsboro green mask, as Kevin is as well. So thank you, Linda. We have the Wellsboro green colors on. Thank you for your mask there. We do have an injured Hornet player on the field on this play. Unfortunate injury at any time, but you hate to see it in the last waning seconds of the quarter or of the half. Not sure who the injured player is, and we obviously don't want to speculate till we know what number it is.
And Chris, and with these odd schedules, and unfortunately with the delays in the games and the weeks, and we saw a lot of cramping in that North Penn Mansfield Wellsboro game from both sides.
Yes, we did. Some pretty serious cramping on a couple of the players' parts.
So perhaps that's the same issue with the Wellsboro player. It looks a little bit better than it did a few minutes ago.
Have a round of applause for Cannon Keck of the Hornets.
And it's Kanan Keck who's up under his own power now, and he is walking off looks a little groggy there, walking off rather gingerly, but the key thing is he's doing it under his own power, and he'll have the full halftime to rest.
Well, Chris, you've got 19 seconds to go, and Towanda has to punt, and you do have one timeout left.
Well, I would assume since Wellsboro took all these timeouts to get the ball back, they must have a humdinger of a play that they want to try to execute before the half ends.
Well, they've got plenty of options, Chris, and they should have good field position. One thing that Kibler's going to have to remember is to catch the ball and get down.
And again, they're not going to get the punt off. A high snap this time. Delameter didn't make his slide to the right or to the left. He's gone both ways here on that. And this time he, again, tackled before he can get the kick off. And just like that, you're on the 16-yard line now with 13.9 seconds to go.
You've got a couple plays. You've got a timeout. You've got a couple plays you can run. You've got a good field goal kicker. So Coach Hildebrand has plenty of options here.
We'll see what they call. Pass looks like it was deflected or just slipped out of his hand.
The way he chased after it, Chris, I almost believe it slipped out of his hand.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
It looked funny from the get-go. It certainly looked like a tip ball.
Yeah, but you're right, the way he kind of raced after it there.
I think you've got a mismatch maybe either to Sweet if he's out there, but certainly with Singer. Still got plenty of time with that timeout, Chris.
Yeah, you have the whole field. Your options are plenty. And there's a tip ball almost intercepted by the interior line of Towanda.
Well, they got
as
pressure, Chris.
They got some good pressure. Alex Perez had it in his hands but couldn't hold it. And now with 5 seconds to go, will you bring Poirier in for a field goal attempt?
Well, you still have the one timeout, so as long as you can run a play, you don't exceed
In fact,
5
Poirier
seconds.
was on the field, but he's walking back off now. So you're right. It looks like they're going to try to gamble on running a play in less than 5.4 seconds.
Well,
That's going to be tight. That's going to be tight, Kevin, even with the timeout.
there's the diamond formation they run a lot of, Chris.
So dropping back, he throws it down inside the 10, and they are
caught.
able to get the Zach Singer catches the ball inside the 5, and they do call timeout now with 1 second to go. So wonderful clock management by Coach Hildebrand. That's why he wins 85% of his games with plotting out that strategy. And now Poirier will have a chip shot that it'll be no different than just an extra point in the final second of the half. And to add to Towanda's woes, Wellsboro will get the opening kick for the second half after they score at the end of this half. So not going well for the Black Knights. Wellsboro has the opportunity to score on the last play of the half, and then they'll get the ball to start the second half.
Well, certainly, and I think if you're Coach Hildebrand, and we'll await the field goal attempt here, Chris, by Poirier.
He's going to line it up from the 12, 22-yard field goal attempt. As the horn sounds, and the kick is perfect. 22-yard field goal. And we've gone to the end of the first half. The score at halftime after a big second quarter, it's 23-0 now in favor of the Wellsboro Hornets. They scored 7 points in the second quarter and then 16 points here in quarter number 2. So Towanda, obviously work to be done at halftime here for Wellsboro. They've got to feel pretty good about the position they're in as we head to the second half. As the band is set to come on the field, we'll take a little break on our end. We'll have some stats for you in just a few moments. But now, Wellsboro Nation on the streaming service and those on the Blue Ridge Cable Network, enjoy the performance of the Wellsboro High School Marching Band.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to 2020 edition of the Wellsboro Hornets Marching Band. This year, for your viewing and listening enjoyment, we present the music of John Williams as featured in the epic science fiction movie franchise Star Wars. Drum majors, is the band ready? Ladies and gentlemen, the Hornet Marching Band!
Another fine performance tonight by the Wellsboro High School Band. Everything going well for the Hornets tonight. We're at halftime where Wellsboro holds the 23-0 lead over the visitors from Towanda. Wellsboro started off on a 23-yard pass from Isaac Keene to Jake Singer in the first quarter. Jake Poirier with the conversion attempt, and it was 7-0. Then Wellsboro scored again at the 7:42 mark of the second period. 22-yard run for Darren Callahan. The kick was no good, and it was 13-0. Then a 32-yard run by Isaac Keene at 3:22, making it with the conversion 20-0. And then with 1 second left in the half, 22-yard field goal for Jake Poirier, 23-0 in the first half, Kevin. And if you're Coach Hildebrand, not too much you can say to your team at halftime. You played well, and you've got a comfortable lead.
Yeah, and then you get to start the second half with the kickoff, Chris. So he wants to come right out, I'm sure, and score right off this opening drive. But, yeah, great execution to end that first half, Chris, with, holding Towanda 3 and out, and Towanda throwing an incomplete pass, which allowed the Hornets to save that extra timeout, which, came in handy with 1 second to go. They were able to get the field goal attempt, and Poirier was able to knock it through to give them the 23-0 lead. But certainly, Chris, one of the things we saw in the first half, that if Towanda doesn't correct in the second half, it's going to get ugly quick, and that's the inability to get a punt off. As
Yes.
Wellsboro was able to block, I wouldn't even say block, they were able to actually tackle the punter twice on 2 punt attempts. So Towanda's going to have to figure that out, or it's going to be a real quick second half.
Yes, the punting game has been atrocious for Towanda, to put it bluntly. They've really struggled with that, and you can understand why they went for it on 4th down on their own 28-yard line, the one play.
Yeah, and they may have to do that every possession here in the second half. But what we did see, a highlight reel catch by Connor Adams in the first half to keep a 4th down, to keep a drive alive that led to a Hornet touchdown. So we've seen a little bit of everything in the first half, but we've seen a lot of Joe Brown, Ryan Sweet on the defensive side of the ball. It seems like they're in on every tackle, and like you mentioned, a handful of Hornets have touched the ball and have made plays happen offensively for them.
Yeah, it's been a tough go right now. We said that the Towanda schedule has been a backbreaker, with Wyalusing to start with, then Troy, then Athens, now Wellsboro. They do get a little class relief next week. They have a home game with Columbia Montour Votech, who I don't believe has any wins yet this season. In fact, I believe they were just clobbered by Bucktail. I saw that score last week. I think Bucktail put 50 on them. So brighter days may be ahead for the Black Knights there with that game. But then they have to play at South Williamsport, the last game of the season. And South always has a pretty rock-steady team. They may not be the flashiest team in the world, but they do know how to get the job done down there at South Williamsport.
Yeah, and of course, as you mentioned, a big one again next week. Hopefully everything will stay the course, and the Hornets will be hosting Troy here in a big game, and certainly should be a great entertaining game, a high offensive game. So it's good to be back. Seems hard to believe it was 3 weeks ago that we were here.
Yes, 3 weeks. The 3 weeks did kind of go fast, I'll say that. But nevertheless, there's one more home game, and that's it, unless we do have playoffs now. The playoffs would begin the beginning of November, but everybody not sure how that's all going to work yet, especially if teams don't play the same number of games, because they're definitely not going to be playing the same opponents. Because Wellsboro this year, the Hornets don't have a game with Wyalusing, I don't believe, on their schedule at all in the league. They're not scheduled with a game with Athens either. The Troy game will get made up next week, and then they play Sayre in Sayre on the 23rd, and that's the last game of the regular season. So it is important with that one loss now against North Penn Mansfield to see what happens there. And they still have the Canton game to make up. No date, I don't believe, has been determined yet for the Canton game. And Canton's played one game this year.
Yeah, that's mind-blowing that they played the first week of the season, and that's it.
Yeah, they had a huge win at Troy, so we thought it was odd that Wellsboro had like a 20-day pause between games. Canton's pause is going to be much greater than that. They do play Monday night, but their lone game of the season, as I look at Canton's schedule here, was let me get the date on that first game they played. Their first game of the season was on the 11th of September. So they'll go from the 11th of September to, well, that would be the 12th of October. Monday night would be the 12th. So they'll go from September 11th to October the 12th with that one football game.
Yeah, that's just hard to believe. But, you know, we knew when the season started that these type of issues were going to arise, and unfortunately, Canton and Troy were the first two teams to be hit with that. So, but hopefully there's a chance they can get most of those games made up. So if there is the opportunity to have playoffs, you can get a true format and get those teams the opportunity to participate.
I'm guessing that they may make a game up on possibly October 30th. It looks like teams end the 23rd. I believe the playoffs were set to start the first weekend in November. So that weekend of the 29th, 30th, 31st, that type of thing, they may be able to play those games. And the other thing we should mention too, Kevin, is that some of these games are being moved around because there are a lack of officials, where some teams are already. This game was originally set for Saturday night when it was put on the books. Then, after they thought it might be canceled, it was going to go to Saturday night because of a lack of officials. But then, I guess with some of the other teams not playing, and the only other game tonight being North Penn Mansfield at Kawaneski Valley, enough officials were available, so they are playing on Friday night. So we're supposed to be with you next Friday night, but if we're not, check Saturday night. We might be here then.
Or Monday night.
Or Monday night. So if there is anyone who is interested in possibly becoming an official, not just in football, but in any sport that you might be interested in, the easiest thing is, I'd say, it's to go into the school and ask to speak to that school's athletic director, and they can set you up by getting all the forms necessary for you to take an official's test, and you could become a PA official in a multitude of sports. And a nice side income, as well as really helping out a lot of the young men and women trying to play sports in the NTL, but needing the officials to do so. So with that public service announcement out of the way, we're set for second half football. Wellsboro to kick it off, or rather Towanda to kick it off to Wellsboro, and we're underway in half number 2 with this 23-0 game. And the return of the kickoff by Connor Adams. He crosses the 30 to about the 33, and that's where the offense will take over for the Wellsboro Hornets.
33-yard line, it looks like.
And Kithcart in on the tackle for Towanda. Chris, I'm sure that surprises you. He's done a little bit of everything for Towanda so far.
Oh, have we called his name tonight? I'm not aware of that. One other game, as we said, going on tonight, that's at the half. It is North Penn Mansfield 30, Kawaneski Valley 0. North Penn Mansfield 30, Kawaneski Valley 0, that game at the half. Callahan on the first carry of the second half. He'll bully his way across the 30 to about the 32-yard line. Tackle on the play by Adrian Weatherby. Adrian Weatherby on the tackle. Second down with about 7 yards to go for Wellsboro. And obviously Wellsboro won't be in too much of a hurry in getting a lot of the plays off this quarter. Have the comfortable lead, milking the clock, and moving forward, a ticket to success. A handoff again to the hard-working Callahan. He's across the 40-yard line.
Down by 72.
Tackle on the play by John Schoonover. And it'll be third down and about 2 yards for the Hornet offense.
3rd and 2 for Wellsboro.
Chris, Kanan Keck just returned to the field. Unfortunately, looks like the injury he suffered at the end of the first half. He's got an ice pack on his knee. It looks like he's done for tonight. And let's just hope it's just a real quick short-term injury for him. He's a good ball player for the Hornets.
Yes, he is. Has his jersey top on, but out of helmet and pants. And there's a handoff, and that should be to Callahan again, and that should be a first down. Tackle on the play by Ryan West. West makes the tackle, but the chains are moved. And I'm sure Coach Hildebrand would love to just keep this on the ground, have a long possession here, get another touchdown, and
Take about 6 minutes
Yeah.
off the clock.
and think about calling it a night.
Yeah. Yeah, Towanda holding on for dear life here, Chris, and a good start to the second half for the Hornets. 6-7 yards a pop on the ground.
Rolling out, Keene keeps the football. He'll get pushed out of bounds.
King flushed out of the pocket.
Pushed out on the play by Weatherby again. Adrian Weatherby making his presence known. I don't believe we did call Mr. Weatherby in the first half, so a couple acknowledgments here early in the second half with good defensive plays.
Keene was able to get a couple out of that, Chris. Looked a little bit of a high snap, and Towanda was under heavy duress there, or Keene was under heavy duress, but able to
Yes.
get a couple.
And there's a nice threading of the needle. Ryan Sweet on the receiving end of Keene's pass as Sweet does a nice pattern and gets it down to the 42-yard line. Good play there.
Yeah, quick post into Sweet, able to use his size advantage, and certainly something that the Wellsboro is going to have all year. It looks like is with Sweet and Singer is that height size advantage on the outside, and seems to be more of an option for Coach Hildebrand.
And a little movement on the interior of the line. We'll see if Towanda was drawn offside. And it appears they were. Another 5-yard walk-off. That's the 6th penalty tonight for Wellsboro. Towanda with only one penalty on their side of the ledger.
15.
And it'll be 1st and 15. The ball on the 47. Get back 5 yards.
Yep, empty backfield here for the Hornets, Chris.
But that doesn't necessarily mean pass with Keene's running ability. We'll see.
Yep.
And it doesn't mean pass. There he goes. Stumbles a little bit, but regains his footing and gets it down to the 35-yard line. Pushed out of bounds by Ryan West, but not before the chains are moved. Oh, I'm sorry, the chains are not moved because of the penalty on the other play, so it's only on the 36. So he did pick up over 10 yards, but they needed 15, so it's 2nd and 4.
Yep, and quickly into Towanda territory at their 36-yard line, Chris. So good drive here to start the second half.
Good drive, a good time-consuming drive. Looks like Nick Smith took that handoff, and a nice run again for Nick Smith as the Hornets now pounding it inside a bit, and they'll have a first down on the 27-yard line.
A great play by Smith. Weatherby for Towanda was right in there, looked like he was going to take the handoff, and somehow Smith got by him and able to pick up 8 yards and get the first down.
Dropping back. Keene looking deep downfield. He has a man open into the end zone, and it's touchdown, Will Kibler. Kibler was silent in the first half, but now it's a 28-yard touchdown pass in the third quarter, and Wellsboro leads 29-0. Great pass, great catch. Keene to Kibler, and the Hornets strike again.
Yeah, great execution, and Kibler, who had a great game the last time we were here, with a pick six and some other great plays throughout that game. Gets by number 2, Sparrow, and Keene with a perfect pass to up the lead to 29-0.
Conversion attempt coming from Poirier. The kick is up, and the kick is no good. He misses that one, just off to the right. So on the Wellsboro House scoreboard, we see that it's 29-0 in favor of the Hornets.
Yeah, Coach Hildebrand, you've extremely happy to come out with that and after the locker room, just to be able to run the ball at will and and take your one shot and be able to score a touchdown.
Now, Kevin, I'm going to say two nasty words right now. And I don't know that much about it in football, but enlighten me. Mercy rule. Is it 35 points?
I'm not 100%
Okay.
sure, Chris.
I guess we might see that together, but we don't like to utter those words, but we are probably getting close to mercy rule time. And I thought it was when a team gets a lead of 35 points or more in the second half of a game, then the clock would keep running on incomplete passes, and it would stop when they go out of bounds, but then when they bring it in, it would immediately start again, and it would run during the out-of-bounds plays or the incomplete passes, etc.
If that's the case, when Wellsboro scores the next touchdown, we will have our answer.
Unless Towanda gets a touchdown right here. And there's a nice return, and breaking into the clear to the 41-yard line.
And Joe Brown with a touchdown-saving tackle, Chris.
Wyatt Delamater with a nice return for Towanda. Sweet made the tackle, but 41-yard line, good field position for Towanda's first possession of the half.
Well, Towanda in the first half, Chris, several of their drives were in good starting field position and unable to really get too far into Wellsboro territory after that. So we'll see if this gives them any more momentum here.
Pass is complete. Short yardage pickup. Wetzel makes the tackle off of the Mosier pass. Hayden Benjamin Fee again on the play for the Black Knights. Second down and a long 4 for the Black Knights as they approach midfield. Handoff there is not going to materialize in any positive real estate. It looked like Nick Smith and Joe Brown were on the tackle with Ryan Sweet. A swarm of Hornets again as Kithcart bottled up at the line of scrimmage, so we'll call it third down. And again, that long 4 yards, or a short 5 if you prefer.
Well, he was lucky to get any yards out of that, Chris.
Lucky to get back to the line of scrimmage.
Yeah, the Wellsboro snuffed that one out quickly. And now we're back to still a 3rd and 4.
Pass intercepted, and it's Adams. Adams breaks away. Adams at the 50. He's got room to run. Connor Adams 40. Connor Adams 35, and he's run out of bounds by Ethan Sparrow. Sparrow runs them out on the 32-yard line, and that'll be where Wellsboro will put it in play, 1st and 10 on the 32 on the interception by Adams.
Yeah, we'll see if after the turnover, Chris, if Coach Hildebrand goes for the home run right off the shoot here. Maybe he takes that shot to Singer up top.
Well,
got Ryan Sweet down here at the close end.
He has Callahan in the backfield with him, so not an empty backfield. And the pitch goes to Callahan. He goes off tackle, cuts the way away from the 30, and be bottled up on the 29-yard line, pickup of 3. Second down and 7. We're coming to the 6-minute mark of quarter number 3. Glad that you're with us tonight on the Blue Ridge Cable Television Network, as it's our pleasure to bring football to you now from Wellsboro High School. We have all the Wellsboro home games covered for you. Should there be a home playoff in the league playoffs, don't see any reason why we wouldn't be able to bring that game to you, because it would be mandated by the league, not getting into any PIAA broadcast right restrictions or anything like that at that point. So hopefully we can do that for you. There's a long pass towards the end zone and a beautiful pass for a touchdown. As Kibler strikes again from Keene, the K&K connection there on a 30-yard or 29-yard touchdown pass from Isaac Keene to Kibler.
We'll find out, Chris, at 35.
Yep, it's 35 now, so we'll see what that. It's that, Kevin, to see if the clock's going to keep running then after the kickoff. But that's about what the excitement level might have to be the rest of the game, as Wellsboro has this one salted away tonight. And this time the kick is straight and true. And if you like that Keene to Kibler connection, well, they're both underclassmen, so you can see that connection once again next year.
Yeah, and Chris, you mentioned at the top of the broadcast, for Towanda, one of their keys is their young players to try to step up and learn as you go along. But I don't think a lot of people outside of Wellsboro realize how young Wellsboro is.
Yes, Wellsboro has so many key players that are underclassmen. If you look at their roster, from Connor Adams to kicker Poirier to the quarterback, I mean, you have a few key seniors. Nick Smith is a senior. Zach Singer is a senior. Cameron Butler, Kyle Mango, Axel Madison, who had a big tackle earlier in the game, Landon Goach. But a lot of the key components to this team are going to be back playing next year, and some for 2 years. So the future looks bright for the Hornets moving forward. Here's the kick, line drive kick. And it goes out of bounds on the 11, so they'll move that forward.
Flag on the play, ball's kicked out of bounds. Free kick out of bounds.
So they'll, I guess they're going to choose to kick it over.
So if Towanda elects to make Wellsboro re-kick.
As they prepare to kick off, again, this broadcast sponsored by First Citizens Community Bank, one of the top performing community banks in the nation. Visit myfccb.com to learn more. That's First Citizens Community Bank, member FDIC. So Poirier signals that he's ready. His kick, the line drive kick. And this one is fielded on about the 10-yard line, having trouble picking it up. And now cutting it up to the 20, and he's not going to get to the 35. So if this was a game show, they didn't pick the right door. They're going to have to put it in play deeper in their territory than they would have had it if they would have taken the possession on the 35. So to be on the 26-yard line where the Towanda offense will set it in motion for their next play. It looks like there's a clock stoppage here. Looks like there may be a
maybe something with the chain crew, Chris. Somebody down.
I think there may be somebody down on the other side of the field. It may be the return man for Wellsboro. For Towanda West. Yes, he's out of bounds, but he is down at this time. Apparently he's far enough off on the sideline there that they're going to continue play. .5:19 to play, third quarter. It's been the Keene-Keebler connection here in this quarter. And there's a running play that's going to net a couple of yards. Look like Delameter made the carry. Tackle on the play by Hayes Campbell. And we can't tell if the clock's running under mercy rule because it'd normally be running after the running play anyway.
Well, Chris, I've received word from a reliable source that the mercy rule is in effect.
The mercy rule's in effect. Okay, we had it right then, 35 points. All right. There's your pass out, and that is intended for Haven Benjamin Fee. That's incomplete. And the last thing that Towanda wants right now is a quick 3 and out.
Well, Chris, if you're Towanda, you with the struggles you've had on the punt team, it's in the mercy rule at this point.
You might as well just
Do
keep
you
going
go for it?
Yes, you might as well. Although it's 3 punts tonight, I believe they have not successfully gotten off. And there's the pass that's incomplete, but the clock continues to roll.
And actually, they may employ a new strategy, Chris, where they intentionally get intercepted on 3rd down, 35 yards down the field. I don't know. This play here is going to be interesting. And the injured Wellsboro player, Chris, I see is walking off, which is a good sign on the end zone. I can't tell what number it is, but
no, I can't either. Too far away there, but he is walking under his own power. Everything looks pretty good right now. And they're not punting on 4th down. They are gonna punt. Okay, he moved back. I thought he was going to take the snap, and well, that kick goes about. A pass downfield would have been more effective than that punt. Unfortunately.
Well, but compared to the last 3 attempts, Chris, that was success for Towanda. So
yeah, they really got to work on their punting game.
you would think. I mean, if you've gotten shut out in game 1 and game 2, that would be one part of your game that you've had the ability to work on. But
I thought he was closer to the center there. I thought they were going to run a play, and then he dropped back for the punt. Went about 12 yards. And here's Wellsboro back, and it looks like Connor Adams may be taking this snap. He is the backup quarterback listed on the
Wildcat
roster.
formation, Chris.
And Connor keeps it. Flag comes in. Connor goes down to the 35, but Connor is listed as the backup to Keene. And certainly it looks like the Wellsboro player is all right. It looks like it's Ryan Sweet who was the player who was shaken up there.
Well, we would
Wellsboro
certainly
on
know
the other
in
side.
a series or two if he wasn't on the field, because you call his name about every play.
Yeah, he's down getting a drink of water right now. And he looks like he is in good shape. The 8th penalty tonight for Wellsboro. And Ryan Sweet does look like he is could possibly come back in the game, but with the score 36-0, not sure that his services will be necessary for the remainder of the contest, as Connor Adams is now the quarterback for the Hornets. Keene out of the game. Adams again keeps it. Adams tries to break away, gets to the 50, spins away from one tackler, but a persistent defender there in Wyatt Delameter, and Delameter makes the tackle.
Well, Adams, a couple of nice, nifty spin moves there, Chris, and get some of that penalty yardage back.
And Ryan Sweet has put his helmet back on.
And it looks like Isaac Keene's playing a little receiver this series.
Okay, yes, Keene is now, they may try to reverse roles here. 1:35 and the clock running. Adams, he's going to throw it to Keene. He's got Keene down there, but the pass is incomplete. Good defensive coverage by Ethan Sparrow, who was with Keene step for step there. And Wellsboro.
And, Chris, that may be offensive pass interference. The ball was a little bit underthrown, and the Towanda player had good coverage. And I think they're going to get Isaac Keene for pass interference.
You're absolutely right, Kevin. They are going to call the penalty on the home team. And Wellsboro has now started to accumulate the penalties. That's their 9th. They could be in double digits here before too long. But the danger is it does give Wellsboro another down. Adams takes the snap, throws it out in the flat, and that play will net you to about the 44-yard line, where it'll be 4th down and about 14 yards. Callahan was the receiver on that play, and it does look like Wellsboro with a 36-0 lead, will punt the football away. And Poirier back. Plenty of time to take the snap. 17 seconds on the play clock. Working its way down, as is the final minute of this quarter working its way down. Poirier with a nice punt. And
That was a boomer, Chris. Great
punt there. And maybe Coach Dawsey can just use that kick by Poirier as an example during the week for his team. Here's how you punt the football.
Yeah, that was a great punt. And Wellsboro has that luxury. It appears the game that we last did that Sweet would punt some and Poirier would punt some, and it seems to be the theme. But that was a great punt. That, unfortunately for Towanda, pins them back to the 10-yard line.
So the third quarter is going to run out on the Black Knights and the Hornets, and after 3 periods of play, it is 36-0 in favor of Wellsboro High School. All's well tonight in the Wellsboro Nation. "13 points in that quarter for Wellsboro, and it was Keene and Kibler, 28-yard touchdown pass, 29-yard touchdown pass, and one of the 2 extra points was missed, and it is sitting at 36-0. If you're Coach Hildebrand, what do you want to accomplish here in the fourth quarter, other than staying healthy?
Well, yeah, obviously stay healthy. Probably, as you talked about, is really try to focus on eliminating the penalties. You know, some foolish penalties. One that was able to keep Tawanda's drive alive, and just clean that up a little bit, Chris. Just play good fundamental football, and get ready for next week, because you're going to see a lot of running the football from the Troy Trojans.
Yes, we look forward to that game next week. That could be a very good one. Pick up of about 4 or 5 yards. Wyatt Delamater on the carry. He gets it out to about the 16. Pick up a 5. Good, healthy pickup. Second down. Towanda in no hurry at this point either. But it'd be nice to see them get a nice drive. It's for their own momentum and their own confidence level. Quarterback keeping the football, gets it out to about the 18-yard line. That was Mosier.
You got a manageable third down here, Chris.
Joe Brown in on the tackle.
Joe Brown again on the tackle for the Hornets. And it brings up third down and 2.
Chris, I'm not sure how many plays Towanda has run tonight, but Joe Brown's been involved in almost every one of them defensively.
And there's a handoff, and they'll be close to the first down.
Axel Madison on
Madison
the
makes the tackle
5,
as Delamater getting the carry, and Delamater gets the first down, so the chains are moved, so Towanda will not be forced to punt from deep in their own territory.
Yeah, let's see if they get back to Kithcart, Chris. They haven't called his name in a couple series.
No, Kithcart has not been called. Hopefully he's okay.
Yeah, he's going deep. What a great play there, Chris.
Boy, they hit helmets hard there. And the pass is intercepted. We didn't see it hit the ground, and it is intercepted.
I think that was number 9, Chris.
It looked like it was intercepted by Dylan Abernathy.
That was a great play.
Abernathy with the interception.
He jumped that
It looked like it looked almost like the 2 Wellsboro players hit helmets as they went for that interception, but Abernathy was able to hold on and get the football. So Quite a nice play there by Dylan Abernathy. Another plethora of underclassmen.
Yes.
He's only a junior.
Yeah, put him in for Keene.
It looks like Joe Brown's out there now. On offense, looks like I saw number 11 out there. And there's a nice movement when Connor Adams cut it to the outside. He was just too fast for the opposition, and that's a 28-yard run for Connor Adams.
Yeah, quarterback draw designed all the way, Chris, and Connor Adams had one move to make, and he made it, and untouched for the touchdown.
And here's Jack Poirier again for the conversion. 42-0 is the score now.
Wellsboro, a few guys short here on this extra point attempt, Chris. I think they finally have 11 men on the field and may have just got the snap off.
And the kick is up, and it's good by Poirier, and now it is 43-0. And I'll tell you what, Wellsboro loves to score inside the 30 to the 20-yard line. They've had a 23-yard touchdown pass, 22-yard run for a touchdown, 28-yard touchdown pass, 29-yard touchdown pass, and now the 28-yard run by Connor Adams. So between the 30-yard line and the 20-yard line, Wellsboro is as dangerous a team as there is in the country tonight. That's 5 touchdowns for Wellsboro between the 29 and the 21-yard line. As Connor Adams has run one in there, and then 3 passes from Keene to Kibler, Keene to Kibler, Keene to Singer, and then a 22-yard run by Callahan. So all Hornets so far tonight, 43-0 at the 9:30 mark of this quarter number 4. If you're looking for a great way to pay for home improvements, consider a home equity loan from First Citizens Community Bank. Find out how much you can afford to borrow when you pre-qualify for free at mortgagesmadesimple.com. That's mortgagesmadesimple.com. First Citizens Community Bank, equal housing lender, member FDIC. And Poirier must be getting a little tired. He's kicking again here. But I guess if you're kicking off after touchdowns, you never get too tired to do that. And not too tired to kick the extra points. Kick underway, and it'll be fielded on about the 10-yard line. The ball bouncing away from Sparrow. And he tries to get away from 1, and he will not get away from 2, though. And he'll be sacked inside the 20-yard line, where they'll take over 1st and 10. Looked like Spencer Wetzel made that tackle.
On the action as well.
Yep, and certainly now, Chris, we're getting to look at some different Hornet players here for Coach Hildebrand. As 43-0 lead as a game is well in hand. They had to get some guys some rest in preparation of the big game next week with the Troy Trojans. And then the handoff to Kithcart up the middle, Chris, and no gain. And a helmet has come off, so that player has to lead the field for Towanda. But Kithcart able to get back to the line of scrimmage.
And it's good to call Kithcart's name again. .45 and counting. Right now, this would be the biggest loss for Towanda score-wise this season. And looks like we may have a false start on the visitors. That's the one area Towanda has excelled. Delay game penalty. So that's the second penalty tonight for Towanda.
Second, about 15 for Towanda.
And that makes the second down more challenging, as they'll need 15 yards to go now. They're on the 16-yard line. So the Hornets definitely could get the ball back in real good position if they stop them. And there's a quick carry by Delameter. Gets it out across the 20 to about the 21.
Brings up a 3rd and 7.
3rd and 7.
Third and 7. We'll see what the Towanda squad can dial up.
And then who's at wide? Tyler Wright.
Long pass. He's got a man open. And a great catch was made there by Justin Schoonover. Schoonover was able to slide in and make that catch right in front of the Wellsboro defenders. And the ball's out to the 41.
Chris.
Yeah.
Rule to catch on the field. Mike Pereiro is here. We might have another look at that, but a good catch by
43-0. Please give it to him there. And score from up the road a little bit in the fourth quarter with 5 minutes to go. It is North Penn Mansfield 30 and Kawaniski Valley 6. 30-6 in favor of the Panthers in that one. 43-0 in this one. Those are the two games in the NTL tonight. There's another completion as all of a sudden quarterback Mitchell Mosier is caught in fire. And he hits Schoonover again, and this time Justin Schoonover into Wellsboro territory on the 40-yard line, 1st and 10.
Yeah, so a little bit of life here from the Towanda offense. First down at the Wellsboro 40 with just over 6.5 minutes to go in the game.
The Black Knights looking to see if they can't get onto the scoreboard. Handoff, short yardage pickup there. Again, a swarm of Hornets, as Mr. Adams would say. The big man made that tackle for Wellsboro, Trevor Ash. List the weights here. Trevor, probably the biggest interior lineman for Wellsboro, and he is but a sophomore.
Yeah, Wellsboro, very, very, a lot of playing experience for the underclassmen.
And a fumble in the backfield as Wellsboro goes backwards on that play. They're able to fall on the ball as Delameter drops on it with the ball on the 39-yard line. And it's now going to be 3rd down and about 9 yards to go. 5 minutes and 18 seconds, clock running. And there's another low snap. The quarterback under siege, Mitchell Mosier, back to the line of scrimmage at least. And it's now 4th and 10. I'm sure Towanda will go for it. And they may go for it on every 4th down this entire season.
It might be an effective strategy.
Yes. The punting game, if you had a lot of things maybe need to be corrected, but boy, oh boy, they need to work on that kicking game. So 4th and 10, 4:25 to go. Mosier back to pass, lets it go, has a man open, just overthrows him, and Wellsboro takes over on downs. As he tried to hit Haven Benjamin Fee, but he didn't pay the fee for the reception on that one, so it was voided, and 1st down for Wellsboro. A few new numbers coming into the game here. Dustin Benedict, I see out there, coming out onto the field. Coleman Brown also out there. So we're seeing a few different players. Number, is that 19 or 18? Just ran, I guess, 18, Tyler Wright, into the game. So good to see Wellsboro able to play some of the other players. So hopefully everybody's going to get into the game for participation tonight. And it looks like we do have a different quarterback in there now, too. There was just a handoff there, but it looked like that was made by 20, is that number 20?
26, I think. Chris.
26 is Kanan Keck, so it couldn't be him. Unless he surrendered his jersey.
I think that might be the case, Chris, because I hadn't.
Well, yeah, you're right. That is 26.
But that's not Kanan Keck.
No, no. So he's, even though he's not playing, he's still playing. He may have got hurt in the first half, but he's still out there in spirit, donating his jersey to someone else. So, not sure who that gentleman might be. And now a whistle and a flag.
Was that a delay of game?
Yep, they did take a lot of time there, and that takes Wellsboro into the double figures on the penalties tonight. Second down, Dylan Abernathy running a play in here. He made that great interception just a few moments ago. Yes, there's Kanan Keck on the sidelines. He is not taking the snap from center.
Good run.
Campbell.
Apparently they're saying that is Hayes Campbell. He normally wears 45, but who knows? But that's who they've identified, and he has a nice run out there to about the 43-yard line where it's 3rd down and 7 now. 2:25 to go. Wellsboro obviously not in any hurry, not attempting to score any more points. However, you can still break it off tackle and go 53 yards. And off there will not materialize as they bottle that play up there. First on the scene was Adrian Weatherby, and now it will be 4th down. Wellsboro hasn't had to punt too much tonight. Not even sure if they will punt now.
Yeah, looks like the punt team's coming out. And
yep, Poirier on the field.
And certainly, Chris, if you're the Wellsboro Hornets, the only thing that you want to do through the remainder of this 1 minute and 32 seconds is not let Towanda score and preserve the shutout.
And Towanda will only have approximately 1 minute and 19 seconds to do something about that shutout. Well, it'll be interesting for the Hornets because they'll have to bounce back and play again next week, as after the 2 weeks without a game. Now they'll have to go back to a normal week.
Yeah.
And not really used to that at this point. Originally in the schedule, they were to be off next week. That was going to be Wellsboro's bye week under the COVID-19 schedules that were made up. But since they had the 2 weeks off that were not scheduled off, they were able to get the game with Troy switched around. There's the punt by Poirier. Fair catch called, and looked like it may have been charged loose, but it looks like the Black Knights are able to fall on the football. That was Ethan Sparrow falling on it. And they'll have 1:10 to go, and we'll see if they do try to pass and aggressively try to score, or they'll run the clock out themselves here.
Well, 1:10 to go, Chris.
Quarterback Mosier the 10th grader. And they're just going to hand it off. And that'll be a pickup of about 6 yards. Second down and about 4. Time for maybe 2 plays at best. And there'll be better days ahead, hopefully, for the Black Knights. Hopefully next week as they play Columbia Montour Votech School. And that'll be a home game for them. So we certainly do wish them well in that game, as we do all our NTL opponents when they play out of league. Winning non-league can only enhance the reputation of the conference. And run out to the 50-yard line, which could be the final run of the game, as Delameter's there. Like 21 seconds to go. Will they attempt to get one more play off?
The Hail Mary. The Hail Mary, Chris.
Well, they got to hurry. They only got 11 seconds to go to get it off. Now 8 seconds. They should get the snap away. They do, but it's going to be a handoff. And running the ball is Delameter, and he'll be tackled short of the first down, but not short of the end of the game. So the final score tonight is Wellsboro 43 and Towanda 0. Strong performance. Wellsboro got off to really shouldn't say a slow start. They did get 7 points in the first quarter, but after that the Hornets were revved up, ready to go the entire game, and they do win it by the 43-0 score. As it looked like the Towanda players are coming out for a handshake line there, but Wellsboro shying away as the protocol dictates this year.
Yep.
And they kind of waved. They kind of waved to each other there, and nothing wrong with that either. So, Kevin, I guess your final thoughts on this 43-0 game tonight.
Well, certainly, Chris, if you're the Hornets, you're glad to be back in action after 3 weeks off and able to get things to click late in the second quarter through the end of the game. So you got to be pleased offensively with your performance, Chris. And, of course, defensively, Joe Brown, Ryan Sweet all over the field. So you got to be equally pleased with the shutout as well. So overall, a good game by the Hornets, and look forward to a big matchup next Friday night with the Troy Trojans. Should be a great game.
Yes, we're very pleased to be able to bring you that one. That will be our swan song for the season, unless there is going to be a playoff game here at Wellsboro Stadium. If that is the case, we should be able to bring that to you, a league playoff game on the Blue Ridge Cable Network and the Wellsboro streaming service. However, a lot of hoops still to go through for a lot of teams to see if that would become a reality. And Wellsboro does have to make up for that one loss they have on the season. So an important game next week as well. For our statistician, Mr. Gary Moore. For our technical advisor, Mr. Shane Cleveland. And for Mr. Kevin Green, this is Chris Vaughn. We do thank you for allowing Blue Ridge Cable Television to be a part of your sports viewing on this Friday night. Good night, and have a great weekend. See you next Friday.